On. Welcome back. So this is the second cipher of the day, and this is just kind of like a moment in time, a set spot in time, set schedule, set uh, hour duration of time where you work on whatever it is that you've been meaning to work on, and so you work on it until it dot works or something. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. And been work. So I had an earlier cipher before, and I'm starting a new side project. Just a quick thing. I want to see how far I can get done because it should just pretty much be making a call to an endpoint, retrieving some data, and just putting it on a page. And it shouldn't be too involved. And so I'm throwing together real quick like a glitch project so that I can just get the mechanics kind of worked out. You know what I mean? Before I go and do, because I want to use Astro again. I used Astro for a previous project, and I want to kind of like use it again and get more familiar with it. And seemed pretty cool. So, and again, it should be not too bad, I think. So we'll see. So I just kind of went through a whole thing of like upgrade because the glitch template that I had before, that for the Express, it was like using an old Node version, like Node 8. So I upgraded to Node 14, but then certain things like dir name aren't there anymore. So when I was trying to call a directory, it was like, oh, that is fam. So then I did some more digging and I found it. So it's working. So I was able to successfully upgrade my Node 14 package to keep that base glitch project working the way it was before. You know what I mean? So, but it's just upgraded now, which is cool. So I don't do a lot of Node. You know, I'm a JavaScript developer advocate at Vantage, and I do some Node, but not too much. You know what I mean? Just enough to kind of like just play around with, but not like upgrading a previous project and doing all this other stuff, but got it working. I've learned something. I'm much smarter for today than I was yesterday. So that's a win. Speaking of smarter, let me share my screen real quick. So this weekend, Plural site is having like a free weekend trial thing, and so it ends today because we do these on Sundays. And yeah, so you can check out their whole website for free, basically. And so it's cool stuff. And they have like these different paths. So if you ever were like, oh, there's so much stuff to do and I don't know where to begin and stuff, things like this, I feel help. So because it's like, here's this path of things. So let's say it was JavaScript or what have you. And so, uh, so yeah, so you start getting started. They talk about the syntax, variable and types, objects, prototypes, classes, and functions. So it gives you a path, for lack of a better term, on like how to kind of learn these things, which is cool. So if you ever felt yourself kind of being lost, you're like, oh, there's so much stuff. Could be something like that. So that's why the free weekends are cool. You can always check them out. Now, if you're already a developer and you're looking for something to learn, because before I was kind of dabbling with React Native until I didn't have to anymore. And so through my job, we get like an educational budget. And so I was able to sign up for Plural site and just get reimbursed for it. So, you know, check to see if there's anything like that where you work at or what have you, if you do that or something. So, but yeah, so it's cool to be able to kind of test drive different platforms. I just wanted to say there's that. Cool. All right. Yeah. So yeah, so there's that. I'll post a link to it also. So it'll be attached to this recording of the video so you can check it out. All right. Now, let me stop sharing the screen. So let's talk about what we're doing here today. So in my time, Sundays, it depends on where you are, but Sundays, every Sunday, unless I have a meeting at the station, we do these ciphers. So it's untilit.works. It's like an online study group. And there's 2 3-hour blocks called ciphers. Each cipher is consisted of 2 different types of sessions. There's the work session, which you may have just came from, and we'll go over afterwards, and the break session, which is this right now. So you can see above, you'll see that there's the home, shop, subscribe, and log out, or if you're logged in, or vice versa. Now, subscribe has a listing of all the upcoming ciphers. You're able to subscribe to them and get notified when we go live. So there's that. If you want to see, and the time zones are in your time, your local time. So work that out. So it's pretty cool. All right. Now, then below that, you see this video. This is where we're talking about stuff. And here we'll come on, the breaks are kind of like you just spent all this time focusing on getting you're working on your project. You need a little time, a little break, a little time away. And so that's what these are. And, it's time to like stretch, maybe walk around or what have you. And so we'll just like, we'll talk about whatever, you could do show and tell. If not, I'll just talk about whatever I find interesting, pretty much. Then below the video, if you ever join the site and we're in a break session and the video is going, browsers don't allow autoplay video with audio. I'm working on another project, see if I can get it to where the video will play, but just not the audio. I've seen other websites kind of do that, like YouTube or what have you, and Twitch. So I'll see how that works. I may do that, but it may look like it's frozen, and just that little warning there, like, hey, you may need to click play to be able to watch the stream. Next to that is the open close caption button, because right now I'm doing speech recognition, the API built into the browser to be able to take the words that I'm saying and turn them into text. And that's transmitted to the block that opens up when you hit open close caption. Below that, we have the add a clip. So if anytime during one of these break sessions, you found something interesting, you'd be able to click that button. It will take a 5-second clip and you get 5-second clips. And then when you're done, you can hit the create a highlight video. And then there we go. Then we have the timer. It's just a countdown timer till when the next work session starts. Then you can join the room and, chat and leave a question if you have a question. And that's what that is. All right. Now, when we're back to, when I send you all back to work, so what happens is that highlight video. So the clips, once you hit create a highlight video, I save that data to the database so that when I stop the broadcast, a whole bunch of stuff happens in the back end. And one of that is to take those timestamps, cut them out of the video, the recording of the video, join them together and create your own customized highlight reel. And it has like your username in it, which is kind of cool. And that's that. And then you'll be able to take a look at it, preview it, download it, and like upload it to like Twitter or what have you. So that's done in the work session. Let me go over the work session. Work session, present, and let me share my screen. All right, now the work session, once I send you all back, you'll see something that looks similar to this. The background it may be different. The audio player, the artist may be different. It may start off with a different artist, but in the upper left-hand corner, we have the music player. I know a lot of cool producers, and they make great music, and they submitted some tracks to allow me to be able to create these projects and use their music, which is great. So it's a Bandcamp player, so you'll be able to, if you would like to buy the track, you could share it. And then below, if you want to help spread the word, you can send a tweet about it. And so what that'll do is open up a new tab with Twitter, and it'll pre-populate a tweet to help promote the artist. Then we have the to-do list, where in the middle of the screen below the player, where you can enter in your task that you want to get done, right where it says add a task, you hit enter or hit the plus sign. It adds it to the space of the to-do. You're able to edit the to-dos if you want to change what the text says. And you're also able to check them off. And once you check them off, they go under done. So you can click done and you'll see a list of what you've been working on, what you got completed. And then once everything's all said and done, you can hit the Twitter logo. That'll open up Twitter again with a pre-populated tweet of all the things that you got completed. Pretty cool. Then we have the countdown timer again, except this one time, this countdown timer counts down to when the next break session is. And those typically happen 15 minutes after the hour. All right. Then we have view tutorials. So like with the plural site, if you ever wanted to get into coding and you want to kind of like dip your toe into it and not have to pay anything, I have links to Free Code Camp and the Odin project, which from what I understand are like really good resources. They weren't around when I was learning to code, but I heard that I've looked over kind of like the syllabus, seems pretty solid. So at least you'll get kind of like a grasp of what coding entails, at least web development. You know what I mean? So there's that. And it'll kind of like help you decide whether or not you want to spend more time and or money in pursuing coding. And then maybe go to places like Pluralsight or Udemy or all these other places. Cool. Then below that, we have Hako, which stands for Help a Coder / Creator Out. You can create a room where you, as the owner of the room, get a URL. You post that to social media, what have you, and you invite people to come check out your room, to come join your room. And now they just don't jump in your room. They have to request to join the room. So that way you, as the owner, can see who wants to be in your room. You can take a look at their profile, whether it be GitHub or Twitter, depending on what they logged in with, and you decide whether or not you want that person to come into your room. Once everyone's in the room, you as the owner can share your screen. And the hope is that everyone together as like a collective can help solve whatever issue you may be running into. And or if you're looking to get feedback on something, you can get some feedback. There's the chat room, but you can also do like audio to audio chats. There's text to speech and speech to text also. So I try to cover all the ways people can communicate with each other. Speaking of that, also in the tutorials, not only Free Code Camp and Odin project, but let's say you already are familiar with coding and you're just looking for a quick project to get done. Like I said, I'm a JavaScript developer advocate at Vantage. And so part of that is like kind of like looking over the tutorials there. So I have 3 tutorials and I think they're pretty cool. You're able to make a call from your browser. You put in a phone number in the browser application and you're able to call a real world phone number and have a conversation back and forth. Another one is the total opposite, calling a virtual number on a real phone and be able to answer that in the browser and then be able to have a conversation. And then there's also having application, 2 users of the same application being able to talk to each other through the browser with audio. Cool stuff. And so if you check them out, let me know what you think. I'm always interested in getting feedback. And then also, so if you don't want to, if you have something that you want to kind of talk about, you just found and you thought it was super cool, that's why we have show and tell. I'm a big fan of these things. Like lightning talks at meetups. You get like 5 to 10 minutes, no pressure. Just talk about whatever you found fascinating, interesting, or whatever you want to talk about. And then below that, remember those timestamps that you use to create the highlight video? Well, there, it'll give you a status. So once you finish and you send it through, it will say status submitted. And then once it's done doing what it was doing in the back end, it will say status done. And there you'll be able to preview the video, download the video, and you'll be able to send a tweet with a link to the archive video where the preview video is your video. Sometimes Twitter doesn't show it. So what I've been doing is just attaching the video that I downloaded just to make sure the video is there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything as far as that. I'm gonna get y'all back to work because I really want to get this this glitch project working so that I could build the project on top of that. But right now I'm just kind of testing stuff out. So yeah, so 15 minutes after the hour, we'll be back with the next break. I'm wishing you much productivity. Wish me luck on what thing I'm working on. I don't think, fingers crossed, knock on wood, hopefully it's not too complex. I think it should just be an API call, like, well, an authorized API call. I have a bearer token, so I can authorize the call to get, I just need to send some data and retrieve the data and then do stuff with that data. So that's pretty much like every like internet thing anyway, any application pretty much anyway. So yeah, so this is like some new stuff I'm working on. Like it's kind of like a new endpoint I've never worked with yet. And So it shouldn't be too bad. So that's cool. But I want to also, like I said, learn more about Astro and kind of see how that works. And so it seems pretty cool so far. I like it because I really don't need to set up like a server per se. Because anytime I was working with Svelte before, and I kind of wanted to have like routing and things, I would use Sapper. But then to use Sapper, I would have to create like a server that I could route the messages, like the requests through and stuff. Like it's just it's a little bit easier with Astro. It's less stuff to set up, not necessarily easier, less stuff to set up. So I'm gonna see how far I can push it. And yeah. All right, cool. So thank y'all once again for hanging out. I wish you much success. Gonna send y'all with some traveling music. This is A Butta, aka Anthony Cruz. Well, his real name Anthony Cruz, aka A Butta. The track is called Thank You, and I want to thank y'all for hanging out. So yeah, share my screen, get y'all back to work, and again, thanks for hanging out, y'all. Talk to you later. Be easy. Peace. Get that sharing. Cool. All right. Thanks again, y'all. See you later.
I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you for being there when a brother had nowhere to turn to. You were there, and I feel like and everybody says we spread a love like I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you for being there when a brother had nowhere to turn.